Hey folks, Jamie from the Undercard here again, bringing you part 2 of our 100th episode. And this clip, we reminisce a little bit about our past shows. Remember, if you want to listen live, tune in to www.rawradiox.com or the TuneIn app. We're on Tuesdays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays from noon to 1.
I was trying to think. We've come a long way. First off, I used to not sit down on episodes. You remember? I'd stand.
That's right. I do. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
And instead of like water and Thai food in front of me, it was just pure liquor. It was just like, let's get through the show. So those things have changed. Episode 3. No, everyone remembers episode 50 as the one where I couldn't get through it. Where we drank a little bit too much.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
Episode 3 was the
No.
episode 3 was the secret science experiment or whatever it was.
That was actually fun. And I don't know why we don't do that anymore.
I don't know
Secret
either.
science.
I want to know. What is that?
The secret science experiment, we didn't tell anybody what was going on, but Brad was just consuming massive amounts of alcohol.
And then and then you had to call in and guess what the secret science experiment was.
And it was,
so the show
it was pretty
quickly
obvious
down.
by like 9:45 when he was like, "We're talking about science."
I remember. We drank pretty heavily when you're. No, that was your buddies that came in.
Yeah. Oh
and
God.
They had drunk heavily.
Oh, the worst show ever.
Brad's trying to get these poor guys to talk about.
Those boots.
Like, what was the story that you were trying to get them to
We
talk
don't
about?
know. They never got.
I know. That's what I'm asking.
They have some really funny stories, but they wanted to talk wrestling that night. But I got to tell you a great story about Brent the other night because that's the best impersonation I do. So Brent goes, "What's been going on?" You know, wait. Okay, I guess I gotta get in character. Hey, Brad, what's been going on? And I was just like, I go, not much. He goes, "You still down at the Russell?" And I go, "Yeah." I go, "They're actually filming Batman and Superman down in the parking lot." That's what I said to him, right? He goes, "Hey, Mitch, Brad had Superman and Batman in the studio." And I was just like, I never said that. I go, they were in the parking lot. And then, like, he totally ignored that I was, like, getting him off it, and he goes, "So what was it like having him in the studio?" And I was just like, you do not listen to me, period, at all. Yeah. He goes, "A superhero has to have boots, Brad. Has to have boots." And I was like, yeah, whatever. But, that was a bad moment in undercard history. Erica and Daria will fill them in. They were friends that had really funny stories, and I was like, these stories have to be heard. First up,
They would have been great.
They would have been great, but they decided to
They could have finished them.
They decided to get drunk before the night and then want to talk what they wanted to talk about. So we could never get them on path.
They decided to get annihilated. All right, I've done this show drunk. They were annihilated.
But and Brad, poor Brad, was trying to steer them back to the
he
story,
really was.
and they kept getting farther and farther away. And then he would try to bring them back, and whatever he said, like the next words out of their mouth were like not even remotely close to what he was.
It was like
asking.
what he just said. It was
Yeah.
like what just happened, Brad.
It was
just
like
said-
Brad's like, "So you were in Canada, Brad? Superheroes have to have boots."
Yep.
And it was just like, what does that have to do with anything?
But their stories were so good,
Yeah.
and I feel like I should tell their stories.
Well, they
for
managed to get one out. I remember. Was it
them. Well, they used to dress up. They used to dress up as superheroes
yes, that was
in
that was it.
Detroit.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
one of their superhero stories out. They got one out,
Right.
and then that was it. The rest of them were just.
They had some really great stories. My favorite story of theirs is that they pulled up dressed up as superheroes coming from a Halloween party, and they decided to get out behind a cop car who had already pulled over somebody and was arresting somebody, and asked the cops if they needed any help.
That was the story.
that's the story they told.
Right, and the
No,
cops
that
were
was
like,
the story he was trying to get them to tell.
right, and the
okay.
cops were like, "Get back in the freaking car," like, you know, and stuff like that. And then they used to walk girls back to their dorms dressed as superheroes to protect them in the night at Wayne State.
That's hilarious.
But they had like a ton of them.
Yeah.
Also, the other story I want him to tell is that Mitch was Flash one year, and his his friends left him at a party, so he's trying to run to catch these other guys he knows at the party as Flash, and some homeless guy's like, "Run, Flash, run!" But they had really good stories. They just did not want to tell them that night. They're like, "No, we don't want to tell those stories. Not tonight, Brad."
Funny.
But
Talk about wrestling.
right, exactly. But
Oh, jeez.
so that was probably one of the worst moments. Plus, they stole our wrestling belt.
Oh, that's right.
Aw.
Oh, totally
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was our kids' wrestling.
It was our
Yeah.
kids' wrestling
Yeah.
belt, by the way.
Stolen. They stole from children. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse,
Yeah,
they
but-
stole from children.
But then we tried to go back to the bar where they were to get it, and they're like, "We don't have it.
Yeah, we don't have it, Brad.
We don't have it."
We do not have Brad. What are you talking about, Brad?
Check with Mitch.
And by the way, Brent and Mitch, if you're listening, it's all out of love.
Yeah.
I absolutely love you guys and stuff like that. They wanted to actually challenge me and one of the ring girls at bubble hockey,
Listen, Brad.
and I had to leave. And they were
hell
met
is bubble hockey?
the bubble hockey at
You know, the
Thomas
table
McGee's,
hockey?
where I saw him last.
What is that?
The table
At
hockey
Thomas
in the
McGee's?
back room.
Bubble hockey.
Oh.
They call it bubble hockey because it has that bubble.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
And they had already put the money in, and I had to
bubble
leave
hockey.
because like the ride's leaving. I was like, I gotta go. I'll challenge you sometime. They acted like I just like stepped over their mom's grave or something like that. Like, but we got the money in, Brad. You can't leave now, Brad. The money's in. And the challenge for buying stuff. But yeah, that was probably
If
one
you
of the
did
worst
not hear
moments.
that episode, by the way, Brad's impression is freaking spot
Yeah.
on.
That
If you're gonna be a
it is
superhero,
true,
you have
yeah.
to wear boots, and stuff like that.
But to really get a impression of that episode, Brad's got to do the impression doing the exact same thing, but while he's drunk.
Yeah.
So you got to
Yeah.
slur a little bit, and yeah.
Brad, you gotta wear boots.
No. Yeah. Brent even came in here and goes, I didn't know this was like a real radio show. Like, they came in
Well,
so
that's
drunk.
right, yeah.
They're like, there's real equipment and stuff. Like people are listening.
They
just
just
like,
thought
what do you think? It was like in someone's
basement
basement or something
yeah,
like that?
exactly.
That's a different
Oh my
network.
God.
That is a different network. Yeah.
Still to this day, though, they apologize to me. They're like, we're sorry about that, Brad. They know they did bad. And it was
You know
so
what?
off
You know
track.
what? Honestly, we should have them back on at some point in time so they can redeem themselves.
No.
But after we get rid of all
But
the booze,
no drinking ahead of
we're
time.
going to breathalyze
Like,
them.
no-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And for people that don't know, that's how Thomas McGee's came about. Is that so we went to Thomas McGee's for somebody speaking on boxing, and somebody's like, "Oh, Eric wanted to meet you for like 3 months," and so he comes over. He goes, "Man, I've been trying to meet you, Brad. I listen to the show. Wanna do stuff with your show." And he goes, "I sent a message through 2 carrier pigeons," he said, "and it didn't quite get there." And this is what the message was that Mitch and Brent gave me. It was pretty They go, "There's this bar in Detroit that wants to work with you, Brad." And I was just like, well, what's the name of the bar? I'll get back with you, Brad. And it just like that was the end of the message. But to this day, they're convinced they gave the right message. They're like, no, we told you. What are you talking about? I was like, pretty sure if somebody was like,
Jimmy-
this guy wants to work with you, I'd have
Right.
found my way there.
Jimmy, work your internet
Yeah.
magic and find out just how many bars are in Detroit.
Okay, let's.
Go-
We'll,
go-
we'll try. We'll try to find that.
Ask Siri.